So in terms of when we're talking about solving a puzzle, the first three things we're going to be looking at are our threats, our captures, and our attacks. So let's look at a puzzle that showcases one of each of these. So in this first example of a puzzle, it's white's move. And just looking at our checklist, right, the first thing that we remember is threats. So threats are mostly moves that we're going to be making with our king to threaten straight up winning the game, right? So for example, here we have two immediate threats, right? We have king to a9 threatening to go to a11, and we have king j9 threatening to go to j11 where it'd be impossible to stop us. So now that we know what our threats are, we need to evaluate what is the best order to do this, right? So this is where root calculation just comes into play. If, let's say we go here first, right? Black's next move must be here. Now if we come across here, Black's next move will be here, right? And we get into this situation where we can't really do anything else. This doesn't threaten anything anymore. So if we can calculate this part and just see, this first move doesn't make much sense. What about try it the other way? Always check out move orders, because move orders, move orders in chess are important, but I would say move orders in Hnefatafl are much more important to the success of your game. So here, right, we have to block. Now we threaten this. So we're threatening two things at once now here. We're threatening to come back to a9 and take this piece, and we're also threatening to come down to j11. So if they defend against one, let's say I'm moving this piece, oops, we come down here, and we cannot stop, they cannot stop the escape. So if they stop this, now we come back, and again, they cannot stop us from escaping. So that was our first puzzle that looked at threats. Okay, so this is puzzle number 3. So this is going to be a puzzle that challenges our ability to calculate and to choose the correct move order, right? So what are the things we notice in this position? The first thing that I notice is that this piece is pinned from both directions, right? This piece cannot move down as we would come across, and this piece cannot move across because we would come up and take the king, right? So this piece is completely immobile and cannot move. The second thing I notice is that on white's next turn, this is going to be a threat to take this piece where we would lose our advantage of having the king surrounded like this. The next thing I notice, right, is that we can't take this piece right away. If we take this piece right away, we lose the game, right? This is just a regular old fork, right? King, just like we saw in the last example of the puzzles, we can't stop both. So if we go here, they go here, and if we go here, they go here. So we can't take right away. So black's first move here, and I think should be this, right? We're keeping the tension. We don't need to make any drastic decisions yet. So now white cannot take here. So now what is our threat, right? Our threat is to come down, here, right? Because now we would be threatening taking this piece, and the king would not be able to run. So how does white stop that? Well, they have a few options. This is one to block, right? This is one to block, and this is one to block. The issue with all three of these is that we have other pieces. Oh, sorry. This is our first move. So let's say white does this. We're going to come across here like this. Okay? Now we're threatening to do this again, and there's nothing that they can do to stop that. If white blocks the other way, we play the same move, except this time there's a caveat. They can now come here. So that makes this move better, but it runs into the same issue. We still have this move, okay? Now we're threatening to come down here, and there's nothing that white can currently do to stop that. Remember, this piece still cannot move. So white is kind of in what's called Zugzwang in chess, where they don't have a move. They have to move, right? But no matter what they do, we're going to come down here. But there's an interesting thing. If they move any piece and we come down here, they can take us. Right? Right? But again, we have another backup. We can come in here now. Okay? Again, this piece still cannot move. Let's say white moves, trying to come in and take us again. Well, we can take here now. Right? And there's absolutely nothing white can do to save the king. So we have to calculate all of this from this moment, right? We have to know, we have to stop this threat from ever being a thing. We're keeping the tension, right? They now have to stop our threat, right? We saw this move fails because of this, right? This just loses him because they're in the Zugzwang here. Okay, so that move fails for the same reason that this move fails, right? And this move fails. Oops. This move fails. All because of this guy over here, this guy over here, and this guy over here. So that's puzzle number 2. So we're going to come down. We're going to block here. We're going to come here. They have to wait. Here. 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 And then white is powerless to stop losing their king. Okay, this is a puzzle for white where it's black to move first. So it's kind of like a double puzzle. We have to figure out why this is losing for black. Okay, so the first thing we notice, right, is that if black makes a nonsense move, we're going to come down and we're going to shield wall. We're going to get our king inside and we're going to win the game with an edge for it. So black cannot allow that. So black must, black must play here. Now this is where the puzzle starts. So we looked at a puzzle where there was a capture, right? We had to set up the capture. We looked at a puzzle where there was threats with the king. And now we're going to look at a puzzle with this as an attack. Okay, so this would separate. Attacks are with your pieces, threats are with your king. So the move here is this. This is a very common idea to get your piece infiltrated into one of the black corners that he's guarding whenever he moves this piece. So now we're threatening a few things. We're threatening, another shield wall. We're also threatening to come down here, right? So if black tries to prevent the shield wall from happening, which really, what else is he going to do in this position? This is the main threat, right? To come down to K10. If he tries to stop that with this, we come here, here, and this piece all the way down here will come all the way down, and the win is inevitable, right? So that's what happens there. If black tries to stop that with this, maybe, we will take here, right? Let's say he takes our piece, he can't. So he cannot take that piece. So let's say he goes here, right? We're going to move our piece. And now we get something like this position where he has to continuously sacrifice pieces to stop this from happening, right? We're going to move, he has to block, and then eventually he's going to run out of pieces. Now he no longer can stop our exit. So coming back here, Maybe another move black could try. What else can black try? This doesn't work because of this, right? He can't take, so he's got to play something else like this. We move our piece. He can block again. We're just going to take again. He cannot take this because he loses. So he forced to do something else. And now we're going to move this piece. He has to block once again. We're going to take here. There's this whole cycle until eventually he simply runs out of pieces and we lose the game. Or we win the game, sorry, he loses the game. So this is a lesson in infiltration and why it's so important to get our pieces behind these structures, especially we can force them to move with something like a shield wall or something like that. So this was the third puzzle, and the solution to this, if you're going from this position, is K9 right there, and that will eventually lead to your win.